You're about to enter another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land of imagination. The next stop, the Twilight Zone. Welcome, YouTube Renegades. What you just heard is the intro to one of my favorite shows to watch growing up as a child, The Twilight Zone. And one of my favorite shows from The Twilight Zone or episodes that was from The Twilight Zone is The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, an episode in which an alien invasion comes to Earth and they begin picking off small American towns by shutting off the power in their communities. In this episode, your typical all-American loving suburban community, once it has its power shut off, completely turns into anarchy, and individuals begin turning on each other, some violently even killing each other. Join me today, YouTube Renegades, as we discuss this specific scenario from The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, which aired on CBS originally March 4th, 1960, is about to take place inside of California prisons. Cubal, salutations and a clenched fist salute, YouTube Renegades. Welcome y bienvenidos once again to the one and only Outlaw News, the small 2000 plus nobody platform on YouTube that tends to spray the YouTube outlaw with a flare tip can of Krylon Klecha. I am your host, the YouTube Modonista, the voice in the barrio, the voice in the Bato Local, the voice of the voiceless. Que pasa, pinche cyber raza? I hope all is well today in cyber Vato land, and everyone is here today either 113 or 114% fully fucking activated and strapped with their critical thinking beanies on extra tight, YouTube Renegades. So, if you think you're suited and booted y vinieron listos for acción, let's mount up, Outlaw Posse, and take a dark cruise to the dark side of YouTube. And take a cruise to the dark side of YouTube for a moment. Welcome everybody to the show today. Today is Monday, March 10th, and it's approximately in a cold California southern night here, and it's about 10:30 p.m. You know, I know I'm a little whiny little bitch, and I know I'm from California, and we bitch that it's cold when we don't really know what it's called. But, you know, we're ungrateful little fucking human beings over here in California, spoiled little brats. So forgive me for saying that I'm in Southern California and that I'm in cold right now. But it's about 10:30 at night, YouTube Renegades, and your boy the Outlaw just wanted to come on here and drop a little content. You know, my dogs aren't barking, so hopefully we don't get no interruptions. And, you know, I just kind of want to shoot the shit, chop it up, and tell you what's been going on with our boy Two Scoops right now. And if you guys haven't gone on Solid Behind Blue Eyes and heard what he's have to say, now let me look this up right here so I could give you the exact thing I want to talk about. Again, we're going to talk about how my favorite show, The Twilight Zone, and this specific scenario that took place on The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. It's about to take place right now, currently, inside of California prisons. And what I mean by that is, the most recent press release that was released from California, from the California Department of Corrections, March 8th, 2025. CDCR, high security areas placed on modified programs. Now, I'm reading this. This was posted on Solid Behind Blue Eyes by Brent Daniels, our boy Two Scoops. Sacramento, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, CDCR, is placing level 4 high security sections within the facilities on modified program in response to a surge in violence against staff and incarcerated persons effective today. Now, according to our boy Two Scoops, they didn't just place most level 4s on lockdown. They also shut down the use of the tablets and are limiting communication out into the free world, right? They're controlling the narrative, right? Or they're stopping the flow of information so they can control the narrative which they want to represent, right? To us in free society, which is going to be regurgitated to us by some popular snitch influencers or the minister of propaganda for CDCR on social media, right? Some peanut for brains are going to regurgitate what CDCR wants us to believe what's happening inside of California prisons, YouTube renegades. Now, our boy Two Scoops was able to get out a communique through his wife. Shout outs to Miss D, who went and did a live herself, I believe, and then also did a live with Bryant, was able to get a communique out from him. So they're shutting down, not only locked down, but they also shut down the tablets. Now, YouTube renegades, this is where I want to tie in the scenario of the monsters are due on Maple Street. These individuals, for the past several years, have been groomed and allowed to develop a dependency on technology, like us in free society, right? Like our children are so addicted to right now. Social media, right? The internet. These individuals have developed a dependency on this. And now it's being pulled away from them, or at least being controlled. And do you think for not 1 second that there's going to be a negative reaction from this? That these men, whether fully grown developmentally, are not going to lash out in anger, violence, or a fit of rage like the 5-year-old that gets his tablet taken away as punishment? This is exactly the scenario that plays out on the monsters are due on Maple Street, right? The power goes out and this functioning community, right? All of a sudden turns into anarchy. People start turning on each other. Friends turn on each other. They start blaming each other, accusing each other of imaginary things. Now, this scenario is very much possible to take place inside of California prisons because, like I just said, if you don't think for a moment that there's going to be a negative reaction, right? For every action, there's a reaction. Now, the question is it going to be a positive or negative reaction? Now, unfortunately, I'm sorry, I don't strike that. If you guys joined us on our live last Friday, we had a discussion with Two Scoops about technology inside of prisons and it being used for rehabilitation. And our boy Two Scoops told us how the access to tablets, the access to social media and to the internet and to communicate with their families with email and through social media did wonders for rehabilitation and for quelling tensions, hostilities, and just promoting a positive vibe inside the prisons, right? And that is good, right? That these individuals can take a tablet, but you also got to remember they develop an addiction, right? Individuals who have a history to be prone to addiction, right? Who already have a history of being violent when it comes to their addiction, have developed an addiction, just like us in free society, to social media and access to the internet, right? Cell phones and tablets. Now, they've been shut off from the world. And again, who do you think they're going to react? They're going to turn into anarchy. Now, the question is, who are they going to blame, right? Because this is where they're going to start using their undercover snitches, right? And they're going to start spreading the rumors that the reason why this happened, it's because his last incident happened, right? An incident that allegedly was done by white individuals inside a prison, right? And then they're going to go spread rumors to another person, right? That it was done because of the shenanigans that are happening on SNY and so on, right? The gossip mill. It's going to be like telephone. They're going to use their snitches and undercovers to spread gossip and rumors, which are going to foster right now when men are locked down. Now, what you guys got to understand that even without a dependency on social media, just in general, hostilities and tensions tend to flare up when there's lockdowns, because now you're talking about men that are usually allowed to escape, able to escape for an hour or two and go out to their little rec, whatever program they're doing or whatnot, and then come back to their cells. But now you're going to put men together in a cell for long periods of time. And I want to give you a perfect example of what happened during the pandemic, right? When we went into lockdown, the world went into lockdown. The divorce rate began to go up, domestic violence began to rise, right? The dependency on social media began. It's often said that prison is a small microcosm of the overall society, right? And it's very much true, YouTube renegades. But the question is what's going to happen next, YouTube renegades? Is it going to turn into complete anarchy? Is it going to become friend turning against friend, accusations being thrown, violence occurring, and people begin to killing one another, just like the monsters are doing on Maple Street? Because that is what's going to happen. These individuals just naturally, just with the lockdown itself, are going to get hostile and extremely angry and look for an outlet. And what's going to happen the moment this is outlet, when they're let off the lockdown, the hostility thing going to calm down. Now they're going to go months, maybe even years without being around another individual or other individuals, right? And then all of a sudden they're going to get thrown together. And the first thing that's going to happen is a culture shock, and tensions are going to flare up, problems are going to arise, just like the monsters are due on Maple Street. And just like God, the monsters are due on Maple Street. It wasn't something that just naturally happened. It was created by alien invasion, which wanted to take over Earth and knew that if they got every small community one by one to turn on each other, they could slowly take over and control everybody. Now, I say that to say this, that right now, the California Department and Corrections and Rehabilitation has the power in their hand. At any given moment, they could shut off not just a lockdown, but shut off access to the internet on the tablets. A dependency that these individuals, right, have. Now imagine all of a sudden a large group of men going through withdrawals, men who are already, right, prone to violence, right, prone to react violently. Unfortunately, you mean that it comes with something that happens when you spend too many years inside a prison, right? Just like you can't expect a man that's been at war to behave like an angel, right? Right? They usually come back a changed man. So what I want to know, YouTube renegades, I don't want this video to be too long. Do you think that this scenario that I'm talking about, that aired on CBS March 6, 1960, the monsters are due on Maple Street, is about to take place inside of California prisons? And do you think that it's going to be done intentionally? That this isn't just done because of this so-called lockdown. They're doing this intentionally because they know that these individuals are going to react negatively. Now, I want to know in the comment section, are the monsters coming to California prisons? We'll call it that, right? We should call this episode that. The monsters are due in California prisons. So again, YouTube renegades, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check it out. Twilight Zone, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, aired on CBS March 6, 1960. Do you think that scenario is going to take place right now in California prisons with this modified lockdown in which they shut off access to the internet? Now, YouTube renegades, we have to wonder also, I want to know, what do you think is going to happen in free society when they do that to us? Because anything that's being done to prisoners, yeah, if it hasn't already, will be done to free society in the future. What do you think we're going to do when they shut off access to the internet or limit us, right? Look how people were freaking out with this whole TikTok or whatever it's about it being shut down. And now it's staged, right? That was all PR stuff. Now imagine when it happens for real and when they do it in a strategically, right? For psychological reasons. What do you think is going to happen on your Maple Street? What do you think is going to happen at your workplace, right? At your gym, at your school, at your dormitory, right? In your barrio or in your ghetto, in your hood, wherever you may be. What do you think is going to happen when our government decides to throw us on a modified lockdown and shut down access to internet, how are we going to react? Right? Because we are dependent on social media, right? Like a true addict who chooses to realize he has a problem. The world has a problem. Specifically, Americans have a problem with indulging in abundance in everything in excess. And the internet is no different to predicates. So I want to leave you also with another question. How many of you guys think that you are addicted to the internet or your cell phones or your electronic device? Do you know somebody who is addicted to an electronic device or being on the internet? Do you think that this addiction is causing problems in people's relationships? Because I can personally tell you from my own personal experience, without going into detail, I see it destroying a lot of things around me. A lot of the reason why I'm not out here posting content a lot is because I want to withdraw away from the internet and unplug from the social media matrix. And I see how it's affecting the people around me. And I don't like it. I'm starting to become well aware of the poison that social media, the destruction that the internet's and access to cell phone, the addiction to cell phones and to tablets and the internet is causing around my community and your community. So I just want to know, are you being affected by social media addiction? Or, let me know in the comment section. Make sure to give me a like, hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Dare to be an anti-snitch influencer fanboy and join that law. Be part of that law posse. Don't be afraid. Just let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Do you think that California prisons are going to erupt into anarchy and violence because of not just the modified lockdown, but also them shutting off access to the internet and the tablets? And do you think did I hit the nail when I compared the scenario of the Twilight Zone, the monsters are doing on Maple Street, to what not only is going to happen inside of California prisons, but what's going to happen out here in free society when they shut down the access to the internet for us? I want to know in the comment section. I want to keep this video under 20 minutes. So like always, YouTube Renegades, you must always stay 113 and 114% fully activated and strapped with your critical thinking beanies on at all times, YouTube Renegades, because there indeed is a war out for our minds, YouTube Renegades. The new war is no longer fought with tanks, airplanes, missiles, and bullets. It is now fought for information. It's a cyber war, and it is a war out for our mind, YouTube Renegades. And if we don't stay activated, fully activated, we will be indoctrinated and become snitch influencer fanboys. So in order to fight that, you must always stay with clenched fists in your hand and stay fully activated and strapped, critical thinking beanie on. With that said, ya saben, venceremos. Until next time, YouTube Renegades.
Understand the procedure now? Just stop a few of their machines and radios and telephones and lawnmowers. Throw them into darkness for a few hours and then sit back and watch the pattern.
And this pattern is always the same?
With few variations. They pick the most dangerous enemy they can find, and it's themselves.